Hello there. Today, I didn't really feel like doing a Gita video, and not quite set to do the I Ching video. So I thought I'd do something a little different. And I'd been meaning for a while now to do a demonstration of how I would perform an I Ching casting. And I hadn't had an opportunity I considered the right opportunity, and now this has come up that I've got a friend of mine who he's got a potential important business opportunity, well, I don't know if it's an investment opportunity or a job, how you'd best describe this, but I wanted to see what he needs to know about this opportunity, and so this is what I'm going to cast on. Now, I think I've got everything set up here, but I'm doing this live, obviously, and I'm not going to really stop, so there might be mistakes made along the way. I'm going to go along describing each step of what I'm doing, and I'm going to mostly try to keep to how I would normally do this casting. I might have to adjust a few things because of filming, and I hope that it'll be of use to you. Now, first, the preliminaries, I guess you could say, is, well, you can't see it from here, but I've got the Magician's I Ching, which is facing me right now. And then I have my I Ching staves. I could have used the 4-stav method, but I personally tend to use the full Yarrow stalk method when I'm casting for myself and I'm not in a hurry. I've got my pipe. I've got something to draw the hexagram on, and something to draw it with. And of course I've got my magical diary. This is a very important element of doing I Ching castings, that if you want to improve at it, you need to record and keep a record of the castings you did. What was the question? What were the results? If anything weird happened, any unusual conditions that you should note, and things like that. And from those results, what you understood to be the interpretation of the casting. And whether you're doing this for yourself or for other people, what it means is first you can keep track of the things you projected in the past, what you were looking at in the past, and whether or not your understanding of the casting proved accurate, and also to keep track of insights or even of patterns that come up frequently or repeatedly in your casting. So keeping a record is very important. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to differ here in how I usually do the casting is that I'm not going to use the name of this person that I'm doing the casting for, and I'm going to whisper the question, which I don't usually do. I've already done my Qigong practice and meditation. It's usually a good idea to engage in meditation before you start to do the casting. If you have a cultivation practice like Qigong, that's better. So I'm basically all set to go. And the first thing that you would do when you're going to perform it is that the ritual of the performance would be to light incense. So I'm going to do that right now. My incense looks lit. So now you take the I Ching Yarrow stalks, or your staves, or your coins, or whatever you're using, and you circle it around the incense 3 times. My incense went out. We're going to try that again. Next, you kowtow, that is to say bow, while holding the incense, while holding the I Ching stabs, and you're kowtowing towards. It'll look like I'm bowing to the camera, really, but I'm actually bowing to the I Ching book. Lay the sticks down again. Now, with more incense, you pose your question. Now, you knock once. Actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shift the camera away from my face and towards the cloth that I'm using for casting, so that you can see what I'm doing down there. There it is. Trying to get the best possible angle here. I think that'll have to do there. So that was the knock, which is a kind of banishing. Then you put aside one of the 50 Yarrows. This is if you're using the Yarrow method. If not, well, you'll do it whatever other method you're using. And you concentrate and divide these into two parts. You take one. Now you start to count by fours. If this is confusing you, I have another video up that already describes this system of generating a casting, which is why I'm not going to be explaining it step by step here. But you can look at that video. I'll try to remember to put a link to it. Alright, so it was 4 left there. Four left there makes 9. Normally I might do this a little bit slower. So that's a yin. Yin at the bottom. You can also split them from the ground. You don't have to be holding them up when you split them. It's a personal preference there. Second line is also a yin. So, well, so far, that's what we've got, which means already time is narrowing. The options of what it could be are becoming more restricted. two large piles this time. You can already see it's going to be a yang line. That means that the bottom is mountain or earth. The bottom trigram, that is. And so far, no changing lines. I think we're about to have our first changing line here. Yeah, there we are. Take a tiny little pause here to grab something. Just relighting my pipe. Dropping things. Very good. I like this method because it's leisurely, but because it becomes almost like a rhythm as you're doing it. And it makes it very easy to enter into that state of consciousness of the awareness of time and space. I like the method I devised as the 4 stabs also, but that's one to use because it's easier and it's faster. But I think in some ways this one's more interesting. Mm. Repeated. So that's another changing yang line there. A yang changing into a yin. The firm becoming the yielding. Also now there's only one line left. Meaning there's only two possible hexagrams it can be. Well, this one isn't a changing line. So it's only going to be two changing lines in the casting. And that looks like it's going to be a yin. Yeah. So a yin, that's lake or water above, mountain below. Now if you didn't know that offhand, you would look them up in the book. If you look at if you've got the Magician's I Ching up the back, trying to get, there we go. in pages 254 and 255, you have the trigrams and you have the reference table. I don't usually look at this book even when I need to, because I look at my, this is the first draft of the Magician's I Ching there. But you look that up, and then on the table you would reference which combination, what the combination makes. It makes hexagram 31, water over earth. So at this point, when you're done with the staves, you vanish again, and you put them away. So then you would look up hexagram 31, and you'll see that hexagram 31 is feelings or sensation. If you're very much a beginner, you'd want to double check that you're looking at the right hexagram, right? There you go. And this you could later put into your book. Now, what does this say? Well, I'd have to take some time now to consider and to interpret. Bring this up now. I'd have to take some time now to consider and to interpret just what the significance of this is relative to everything I know about my friend, about his situation, about his opportunity, about his current job, about what the gist of what he's asking is. And if you're doing this for yourself, it's the same way, right? Because it's very important. You can't just look at what's written in the book as if that it's existing in a vacuum. It isn't. It's existing within the context of this world, the later heaven world, right? The world of the imperfect, you could say. And so you want to understand how the meaning of this relates to the situation at hand. So rather than kind of give away the deal here or spend another half hour of me thinking about it, I'm going to end the video here. But if any of you are I Ching practitioners, then I know, if any of you are I Ching practitioners, you could feel free in the comments to tell me what you think this means that my friend needs to know about this potential business opportunity that he has. So that's everything for today. If you like this video, let me know, first of all, because I've never done this particular type of video before. And in any case, feel free to subscribe. Check out the other videos on this playlist and on my other playlists too. Check out The Magician's I Ching, the book, and the Facebook page, which is probably the biggest I Ching related English Facebook page around now, where there's some very good conversation. And if you're looking for a more in-depth and serious set of spiritual practices that are grounded first and foremost on the cosmology and the metaphysics of the I Ching, but that have to do also with meditation and cultivation practices of Qigong, then look into the Yi Fa Society and let me know if you're interested. Thank you very much.